girls, welcome to the second week of the Challenger Cup. We're going to be bringing you the action from the game as much as possible. In this one, we're going to be following through at the start of this one, looking at the bottom half of the bracket. Winner of this game gets to take on Team Eager. Alongside me today is the glorious Zyden. Zyden, so how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing great, Hindu. How are you today?
I'm not bad. I'm not bad.
I'm hoping we're going to have some great games. Looking at the brackets, some interesting matches coming up. I'm hoping some good stuff going to happen in the round of 64 as well.
Yep, I mean, hopefully we should see some good games from this one. First game we're going to see is Top Element versus Spooky Face. Now, Spooky Face, I believe, is on the right-hand side. I'm just going to double-check that. Is that right? Am I talking rubbish as usual? Nope, Spooky Face is definitely right-hand side. Yes, so red team is Spooky Face. Blue team is going to be Top Element. And these two teams, they're in the round of 64, so, you know, down at the bottom of the list, but they're going to have the opportunity, one of them, to face off against Eager, and the picks and bans are flying through already.
Indeed, it's one of those things. It's a little annoying when they fly through so quickly. But nevertheless, Bastet and Shibalanke banned out on the left-hand side by Top Element, and over on the right-hand side, Athena and Cupid banned out by Spooky Face.
Not too unusual with the bans there. I mean, the Cupid ban's a bit situational, because generally Cupid has a really good matchup against Shibalanke. You generally only really pick him to deal with Shibalanke. He can be beaten in lane by the likes of Artemis and have issues. Oh, an Apollo pick coming out from them. I'm surprised, but we're going to see an Apollo pick in this one. Apollo, one of the weaker hunters at the moment. It's not something we see very often.
It's interesting. I'm thinking they might be looking to do some big split pushing later on in the matchup. But like once the laning phase kind of ends, just have Apollo do the season 1 style of just stick him in a lane, have him just push constantly, and just force somebody to always be over there dealing with him. But they do have the Sylvanus pick as well. That's going to help out a lot with that bit of a reduced wave clear Apollo has these days in Season 2. So it could work out pretty well with that combination, that dual lane.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I mean, with Sylvanus' push power, a lot of people are starting to realise to give him the purple buff at the start of the game, just to put the added pressure on. But Artemis versus Apollo in the matchup, Artemis definitely has her way with Apollo in that one. Her twin is not as strong as she is in terms of laning phase and kill potential in that one, now that the Apollo changes have gone through. Agni was also picked up for the side of Top Element, and across the way, Spooky Face did lock in that Thanatos. So, Thanatos going to be looking for the early game. Thanatos and Thor, They have a nice little backwards and forwards, those two.
Yeah, I don't know. Thanatos, I think he's been seeing slightly better luck these days in Season 2. Season 1, he had, like a 5% win rate in the SPL play, and like people just kept trying to make him work and trying to make him work, and he kind of just didn't. Season 2, he seems to work a little bit better without that, I don't know. It's still one of those things. He has to get going early. If he doesn't, he can, kind of backfire, fall off. He falls off roughly going into mid-game a little bit.
The big thing about Season 2, though, is the fact that penetration was taken away from Boots, so early game penetration is hard to come by, and Thanatos with Scent of Death gets free penetration built into his kit, and when he maxes like 35 penetration that he's going to have available to him, that's really useful, and that's one of the reasons you see Thanatos back a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that all works out. Most likely going to be Thanatos on the jungle, and a couple more bans did come out. Ymir banned out by Spooky Face, as well as the Poseidon banned by Top Element.
Yep, we're going to see Poseidon banned away, which isn't too much of a surprise, especially when you pick Agni. Agni Poseidon can go backwards and forwards. Agni obviously has a bit more difficulty using his Path of Flames to wave clear early on when he's going to avoid the cripple. And obviously you don't want to deal with those Krakens that are available, especially the wombo combo of Thor into a Kraken is quite possible. So I can understand the Poseidon ban. Back across the way, though, Ymir taken away, obviously with Athena being banned off the table already, and Sylvanus picked up. Take away Ymir, because he's one of the other Guardians that really has decent push power, that is going to be able to push as hard as Sylvanus can with the help of Artemis.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Most of the big supports banned out. Scylla was picked up, kind of snuck in there along the way for the mid lane of Spooky Face. And they're looking at and actually just locking in Sobek for their support, as well as Chaac for their most likely be the solo laner. And Sobek, kind of one of the fallback supports these days, still quite effective. He had some buffs going to Season 2. It will potentially be interesting. Both of the supports will have some sort of method to pull somebody back in the middle of a fight. Sobek with his charged prey can throw somebody back. Sylvanus with the Nature's Grasp. Positioning for these teams are going to be so important, as even early laning phase in the dual lane, and then later on once we transition over to start seeing some more team fights.
I like the compositions from both teams coming out here. They've both gone for aggressive junglers that are early game focused on trying to get potential picks, but the rest of the compositions are towards the late game. I mean, Agni's all round all the way through the game, but Scylla across the way is very, very late game focused. So is Bakasura, but Baka can have a good lane too in Apollo. Well, when he gets online and he can do that split push that you were talking about earlier, then Spooky Face has the opportunity. They're going to rely on Thanatos early to try and keep the pressure on top element at the start of this game, and hope as this one goes forward that they're going to be able to deal with that one. And so we're going to see Agni in mid lane pretty safe. Chaac was a really safe pick for the solo lane. He's going to be up against Bakasura. That should pretty much be a farm lane. Only really Bakasura's got kill potential there unless a real big mistake happens.
Indeed. I mean, I don't know. I'll be curious to see. We're talking about the Apollo split push. Are they going to look to have Thor deal with that? Thor, typically, you look for the big frontline initiator to start up fights later on in the matchup. But Thor also is a bit more mobile, has that semi-global presence with the Anvil of Dawn. Could kind of respond slightly to the whole Apollo across the skies split pushing. He doesn't have to be quite as far, he doesn't have to run quite as far across the map to rejoin a team fight later on. So I don't know, some interesting possibilities for team fight type stuff.
Well, we'll be back in a moment, guys, as we get ourselves pulled into this game. As soon as we're in, we'll be right back with you.
Alright guys, hello and welcome back to round 1 of the North American Challenger Cup Week 2. I'm here with Hindu Man once again. We have Top Element facing off against Spooky Face in this first game. Hindu, why don't you run us through one of these team rosters now they're actually in the match itself?
Alright, we've got Top Element on the bottom side of the map, the blue side, the left-hand side of the Spectator UI. We're going to see Dark Liberator going to be playing that Chaac in the solo lane. Blackout is going to be playing it in the jungle as Thor. Ziggy Dog in mid lane is Agni. In the duo lane, we're going to see Zoth and Learn to Aging Bull. Or it should be Raging Bull, but I can see what he was trying to do there. Yeah, as Artemis. And that's what we're going to see on that side. What have we got from Spooky Face side?
Spooky Face over on the red side, wearing those... the red side wearing the red trunks, yes. The right side wearing those red trunks. We have Fast Like Turtle playing the support Sylvanus. Space Ghost 217 playing the AD carry Apollo. Black Cyanide in the mid lane as Scylla. Frodo of the Shire over in the solo lane as Bakasura. And finally Powered by Cheese in the jungle as Thanatos. And Thanatos powered by Cheese, huh?
Thanatos powered by Cheese. This is going to be the challenger scene, guys, for the North American side of things. This is round 1, just so you know. All of these are best of 1s, apart from the final is best of 3, just like all the standard challenger cups you see every single weekend going forward. Winner of this game, though, will face off against Eager, so let's see which one's going to go and do that.
That is for sure, and early game, looks like no early shenanigans coming out. It's a little unfortunate going to Season 2, I think. We don't really see much out of the ordinary early on. And, I mean, looking at these guys as they start to arrive to lane, there's really not too many opportunities. Chaac does fairly well without a mana buff. Same thing with Bakasura. He's not shut down too. He's not a Hercules. He's not like a Chunga, anything like that. So there's not really too much to gain by looking for Invade with this current team comp setup.
I mean, experience, a little bit of gold can be stolen away. A potential kill with Thanatos backer as well onto that Thor Chaac early on. But no invasion did come out. Lots of early wards were placed down very aggressively from Spooky Face over on both sides just to keep an eye out for things. Just that one defensive ward was used by Top Element. Looks like Thanatos considering just to offer the option of going into the jungle to relieve some pressure. He's not actually going to rotate though. And we're just going to see a bit of a farm off. I'm expecting though Apollo and Sylvanus. Oh, that nice pull from Sylvanus coming out early onto Zoth. Bit of poke pressure, those auto attacks working out. He's not got the purple buff though, which I'm quite surprised about.
Artemis? Artemis?
No, Sylvanus have the purple buff. Normally, nowadays, you give Sylvanus the purple buff at the start, just for the push power that you can get. They've given it to Apollo, which I don't think is as strong as it could have been. They could have got better wave clear on here, but they're doing a good job so far.
There's the charge point once again coming out from Zoth, not connecting once again, unfortunately. Rotations by the junglers coming out off of that solo lane. They're heading over to the mid. In the case of Thor, actually passing up those back harpy cams. Ziggy right now in the mid lane, having that wave pushed over. They lost a bit of gold to that tower already.
Yeah, I'm just checking with both the mid laners as well. They've both gone for the tiny trinket start. Now, you can see a lot of Doom Orb rushes in this season, just because of the mana regeneration you're also going to get from the start item of Lost Artifact. But tiny trinket starts means they're both looking for Bancrofts. They've gone for the extra sustain, the extra potions available for them as well. And I'm surprised to see Thor has rotated back to those back harpies instead of staying mid. What you normally see from the mid laner jungle now is they kind of team up like a tag team nowadays. Clear the mid wave, do a back camp. Clear the mid wave, do a back camp. But this time they've decided not to, and it means they're sharing less experience overall, which means it's going to be hard for both of them to reach 5 ready for the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, and these days you want the ultimate online as quick as possible. When those harpies start to come up at that 3-minute mark, like you said, having those ultimates can make or break a fight. If your opponent has them and you don't, that is a huge, huge disadvantage you're at when those harpies spawn.
Talking about that, Thanatos is now 5, literally just dinged, and at the same time Thor is not. Thor has only just dinged level 4. So keep an eye out for Thanatos looking for early aggression. He may swing to this left-hand side, where they're currently trying to pick onto the Sylvanus, who's in a bit of trouble here. With Thanatos coming around the back, Artemis and Sobek need to watch themselves.
They do. No wards down on the map. They have already worn off.
Here we go.
Sobek is about to head over and rotate out. This could be a big play. The Thanatos coming down onto Artemis. First Blood could be coming out right now. Raging Bull low on health, juking around with those minions. Apollo threads the needle and picks up First Blood onto Raging Bull. Nice rotation by them. Sobek's heading over to rotate for these mid-harpies. But with Spooky Face going to be running their heels, I don't know if they can pick these up. It's going to be a 3v2 on these left side camps in just a second.
Blackout's going to get the right hand ones. That's going to ding him level 5. Maybe he'll ult straight away. Maybe he won't. There's aggression for the left ones. They do go to top element there, but Sobek's still only level 4. So it was First Blood trade for both mid-harpies, which means experience is pretty much identical right now.
Yeah. Slight gold lead going in the favor of Spooky Face just because of that First Blood, but otherwise things fairly even still. Over in that solo lane, for now, it looks like things are going okay for them. Liberator forced back, or excuse me, Dark Liberator was great. Dark Liberator forced back to his tower a little bit. I mean, kind of expected this point with Bakasura. Bakasura went for that heavy hammer start. Chaac, tries to wave clear, uses those melee attacks to get a couple more attacks and actually finish the wave off, and Bakasura just looks to lay into him.
Yeah.
And
he's got to be respectful. Liberator's got to be respectful as this Chaac, and it's just because of the heavy hammer being the issue. He went for the Bluestone Pendant, which is great sustain for a Chaac. He's amazing sustain with his passive too. But then that does give up a bit of pressure. The heavy hammer, if he gets hit too many times, the Butcher Blades come online, he's going to get poked to high heaven. So he's going to play very, very safe there, not get pushed in too much. He'll relieve a little bit of experience, but with that hog, he should be able to clear out most.
Yep, right now, also coming up into the 4.5 minute mark, Jungle Buff's respawning, Thanatos picking a speed buff up once again. They're looking for a kill on the left side over onto Apollo right now.
Yeah, they look like they'll be able to pick this one up with the boar as well, coming out just to secure the kill. Tusky doing some work there for that one. Zoff really set that one up with his ultimate as well. He wasn't scared of using that whatsoever. They lurking in the waters just to get the slow off and put the pressure on. The nice damage coming out was fantastic. But we've got an invade on the right hand side coming out here as well for Spooky Face, looking for this blue buff, taking it away from Chaac. Thor's here though.
Yep, he's here. Will they find something? Technographer comes down. There's Berserker Barrage as well. Ricochet's out. Blackout might be in a bad spot, and he will. Frodo finds that kill. 2v1, just stuck around a little too long in the middle of that one. He needed to wait an extra second or two there for Chaac to show up.
Yeah, I mean, he went too aggressive in that situation against a Thanatos and a Bakasura. It just wasn't worthwhile. Give up the blue, take your speed buff down. There's a potential now for them to steal the speed because they would have seen that Thor didn't take that now. And now with them rotating over, it's exactly what I said. They're going to go for the speed. They're going to find it available. And now he's going to be able to Sylvanus and this Agni with Thor coming in to try and defend.
Yep, here they come. Rainfire dropping down. There's the Emerald Dawn as well. There's going to be a double kill coming out right there for Ziggy. They went for the steal. They went for the big play. But unfortunately, they didn't leave in time when that rotation started coming out. And well, Thor, respawn times is short early in the game. Fairly short. He was able to rejoin that fight even though he just died moments before.
Honestly, I've got to put a little bit of blame onto Black Cyanide, that Scylla there. She saw Agni and Sylvanus rotating. She was in mid lane and saw them come. Didn't support the team. The call wasn't good enough. Thanatos and Kasura, if she did call it, didn't respect it enough. And now the counter invaders on from top element. They're going to undo all the good work they've just done. And top element are going to get that blue buff given over to Chaac. And it's backing now the one who's going to be slacking on mana a bit.
One of those big things as well a couple months ago in that solo lane was the fact that despite having that Bluestone Pendant, Chaac was running out of mana. With that mana buff on himself and not on Bakasura, actually, was zapping a bad spot right on off. Caught out. He's trying to juke around, trying to stay alive, but he just delayed the inevitable right there. Frodo puts another kill on the board for his team.
Oh, left hand side again. Apollo's looking for the kill. Guess it's Sobek left. The last auto does hit for Space Ghost. He's going to go down too. So double kill going across in favor. Well, not double kill, but 2 kills over to the side of Spooky Face, their top element. I don't know what Zoff was doing then. He kind of did a Frezzy play from EU, is what I saw there. Looking for the back harpies, just overextended his welcome. Didn't work out from Bakasura right inside though. Butcher Blades online with the Regurgitate. Gonna bring him down. Secure himself a kill over onto this Chaac. Also, the harpies go down, and now it looks like Spooky Face looking for this gold.
Yeah, that solo lane's going to be an interesting one. That was a close fight. Frodo just barely surviving that himself. I was going to touch on a little bit before with that mana buff on hand Chaac. He's going to have a lot of mana to work with using those Thunder Strikes to go ahead and harass Boxer and poke him down. Left side of jungle, those Space Ghosts caught out by 3 members of the top element. There's the lurking in the waters. Apollo trying to get away across the sky's channels in time. He gets himself out of that one.
Banner is up. He decided not to go it down though. He was considering going back in on that, but with Apollo getting out, it's a good decision to recall. No pressure on the Gold Fury for now. People are just going to return. We're going to see a 4-man red buff, Sidon. 4-man red buff. The best way to share experience.
Sharing is caring, even when Cupid is not here. You got to share that love and, well, split that experience. It's well, sharing the experience. Why not? You want to share
State of the game right now, Spooky Face are up 5-3. Experience lead of about 800 is going to drift a little bit now as he's going to lose a bit to the tower. Gold as well, ever so slightly even, just slightly in Spooky Face's favour though. But he's pretty much still all square in this one. I'm expecting the Gold Fury is going to be a big turning point in this game. Keep an eye out for Scylla. She needs to use this I'm a Monster at some point. If she gets a big one off, it could really help out.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's one of the single most, as a single chunk of damage, it's one of the, I think, is it the highest? I think possibly with the exception of like an execute from Thanatos on like a Guardian. It's one of the most single, Mirkan as well. It's a pretty huge chunk of damage from that I'm a Monster, and she can potentially use it multiple times, and it can turn
nice
the course
flip from Zoff onto the Apollo, who's trying to get back to his tower, and he does get the moves on nicely, though, to get back. Sylvanus going to come back here, use the Wisp, sustain him back up. Apollo won't have to go back to base for now. Meanwhile, right side, Thanatos is doing the speed buff right now. Just checking with itemization, we've got boots online for both the mid lanes. Oh, another flip from Zoff. He's landed those flips perfectly. Shame the trap didn't connect, though, but he's going to be able to get away.
Oh, there's a trap on the tail end of it. The non-range suppress the insult does come down. Can they find the damage? The passive from Sylvanus, though.
Agni?
Stopping the chase. Thor is up. They could look for a big fight here. Will he go for
Thanatos has gone up as well. Thanatos has gone up because he knows that they were trying to go up aggressive onto the Apollo, but the sustain from Wisps plus the health potion that Apollo pops has kept him alive. Agni needs to watch himself now before he gets... Sorry, Scylla needs to watch herself, I should say, before she gets collapsed on as Agni gets some nice damage down.
On the right lane, Chaac forced the Storm Call as well. Bakasura is putting a little bit of hurt onto him once again. That's a bit of a rough matchup. Chaac went for that Smithy's Hammer, getting some extra protection online, but against Bakasura with that true damage on the Butcher Blaze doesn't help him all that much. And with Bakasura looking to finish off that kin size here in the near future, this could be pretty bad. But right now, that Gold Fury fight you were talking about is online. Zoff is in a world of trouble. He gets picked down by Space Ghost. Fight's still coming down. They're looking for a couple big kills here. Artemis on cleanup crew. Sylvanus passive coming out once again, trying to keep these guys alive. Can they do it? The Death Scythe chunking Raging Bull for huge chunk. Black Cyanide from behind with the Sikkim finds a kill. Ziggy Dog answers with one more, but though back on the Space Ghost. And it looks like for now, both these teams just kind of want to disengage. But Bakasura just took the first tower of the game.
It was a 2-for-1 trade, though, in favour of Spooky Face, but they will be able to look towards these mid-harpies. Left one's going to go to top element. He does get hit by the cripple. Oh, he didn't jump to the hand return of a monster! He's going to not connect! Barely missing on that one. If he would have done Blackout, unfortunately, he jumped to his hammer when it was on the return and got himself caught out. But I'm a Monster's on cooldown. That was a really bad fight from top element, in fairness. The Gold Fury, you saw Sobek trying to do zone duty. He should be on hog securing. We had no mana there at all. Gets picked off early, and it forces a fight that just wasn't in top element's favor.
Yeah, Harpy spawning up. I believe both those were just taken away by Spooky Face. And right now they're looking for the pluck. Once again, Black Sign caught a Rainfire coming down to Scylla's head. Should be able to use the Sentinel to get out of that safely. Zoff popped that Lurking the Words, but no follow-up and get initiation to be had. But it did buy Ziggy Dog the time needed to get out of that safely. Low on health. One ability at that point from Scylla could have potentially killed him.
Zoff's getting a lot of good picks, but the counter initiation from Spooky Face to defend against these charged preys that are coming out from Zoff is causing the team a lot of issues for top element right now. They're trying to make the plays, but the problem is the counter initiation is just too strong at the moment. It's still anyone's game though. Experience in Gold League has swung in Spooky Face's favour just because of these kills and that tier 1 tower on the right, which Thor's going to come over and try and defend now.
Effort of the Shire's trying to... Well, he's just going to stroll away from this one. A little bit of a tectonic rift to get in his way there for a brief moment. He'll be okay. They weren't looking for the kill. And that takedown was what to leap out of the fight if it got too hairy for him. Right now, though, kind of a bit of a lull. Gold Fury still available. Harpy is kind of down. Most of the buff cam's down right now as well. Looks like a little bit of stuff going on the left side jungle. Some pings coming out. Zoff walking over ward. Right now, Spooky Face actually warding fairly aggressively on the top element side. They want to find these picks.
So Warlock Slash online for Agni right now. We can see it looks like Scylla's going for the Book of Toth in this one. Both started with the Tiny Trinket, didn't continue working on Bancross, looking to get the stacking items online. But Gold Fury, like you said, has been started, forced to reset one more time. As you can see that both teams have vision. We're going to get a 5 versus 4 group, and his back is still on the right hand side, but Chaac is floating around. If something doesn't happen soon, then Spooky Face can start looking for that tier 2 tower with Frodo of the Shire.
Bakasura is actually looking to teleport right now. He just used that to get back to lane. He picked up the tier 1. Chaac has it as well, however, so if he manages to force Bakasura out, he can turn this Gold Fury dance into a 5v4 in his team's favor, which could be a fairly big factor. For now, it looks like both teams kind of... No one really wants to commit to a Gold Fury fight. It's not like Fire Giant where it's this huge endgame, like, game-changing buff. It's a chunk of gold, it's a chunk of experience. It's probably not worth losing a decent chunk of your team over.
Yeah, it's not necessarily actually picking up the goal through. It's the fight that's before or after it that can really swing the course of the game for them right now. Left-hand side, duo lane continuing to farm up. Zoff looking for aggression again. Gets poked a little bit, uses the lurk in the water's going to get hit by the ultimate, so the dots are ticking on him as well. Ball's coming out too. Zoff goes down while still in lurk in the waters. The board does connect with 2, but it was a big misplay in all honesty from him. He took way too much damage and thought he could get the burst off and turn that, but it didn't work out for him. With the support being down his side, and I expect him to try and attempt to go through soon, but Scylla's in base.
It's definitely a possibility. It's going to be a factor as well, still not being there. That just came down to the itemization routes. Zoff went for Shoes of the Magi, which is pretty unusual for the supports. Actually, fight breaking on right side jungle, Black out in trouble. Frodo the Shire is as well going to get picked up straight away by Liberator. 1-for-1 trade over there. Frodo, I was taking a stroll through the woods and got caught up.
Artemis has just been forced back to base by Apollo. Now they're looking for the goal through. It's already been started up here. Agni's coming around with the support of Chaac. Zoff's not in range with the Sobek yet to get ahead and defend this. Can they get the hog off? Did they not have the hog available? Secured. They do. Spooky Face do manage to finally get it, but at the cost of their support player. Crazy fights across the map, but the gold experience continuing in Spooky Face's favour.
And just because of the fact that they were down 2 members when that happened, Fast Like Turtle was picked off in the middle of that fight over the Gold Fury itself. But, they were down a member, got the Gold Fury 4v5. They, Bakasura got picked up in the right side jungle. But that gave them the knowledge they needed, the vision of people to say, okay, we can do the Gold Fury, and that's exactly what they did. That fight over the dual lane a little while ago, that loss there by Zoff kind of came down to the itemization. Sylvanus went for the Wing Blade, giving him that health and cooldown reduction he so well needs. Sobek went for the Shoes of the Magi. It's a decent chunk of magical power, but I don't know.
It's not got the penetration anymore. I think that's the big issue. He should be looking for more defensive use, even the reinforced greaves, or for cooldown reduction if he so chose to go for them. Not sure about the Magi. I mean, the mana, and maybe he's okay with him because of the mana issues that Sobek has as well, take into account. And Shoes of the Magi do give you a nice chunk of mana on that too, so it can make some sense in that state. The one thing that's interesting, the gold lead between the two, the factors of it is Iqval fully complete for Apollo. Meanwhile, across the way as well, Bakasura has chins already. Thor's up in the sky though. He's looking for a dunk.
Is he going to go for it right now? That's going to be the question. He's actually looking for Scylla in the mid lane. He's going to go for it. There's Tecton the Rift coming down, as well as all the hammer, the rainfire from Agni. That's a kill going away. Ziggy
nice
Dog.
Combo.
Gold Fury Pit, you typically expect them to actually fight still go on the left side of the jungle. It looks like Transpress the Insolence coming down. Sylvanus popping the West, trying to keep these guys up in the healthy. Zoff low on health once again. No defensive items yet online for him.
Thanatos coming up. Everybody's turning up for this one. Thor and Agni are coming too. Thanatos in the sky looking for the dunk. Not going to find it. Or is he? Oh, Zoff turned round. Gets executed. Not going to see Thanatos continue onto the aggression onto Artemis, which I'm quite surprised at. Instead, he backs away even though she was low on health. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Apollo and Sylvanus chasing Thor out. The blinking, the pull does not connect from Sylvanus, and now the disengage happens, and it's 10-7.
Yep, actually, okay. Power by... Nope. Okay, Thanatos, not sure if he wanted to go try for Artemis right there. Decided against it. Lifesteal from that wave of minions. She got her health back up pretty quickly. The big fights in this game coming out at the Anvil.
Apollo's up. Where's Apollo going? Apollo just went ham. He dives in looking for the purple buff. So beautiful use, but he's going to have Agni rotating back in after him. Going back to base. Thor is here too. Wall does not connect. Silence does though from Powered by Cheese. Execution to Blackout. He's going to drop, and they're going to be able to steal away this purple by the looks of it too.
And over in the solo lane, Boxer diving on the tower, looking for the kill. Takedown over the wall. Gonna get picked up by the tower. He went for the big play, but that backfired on him over there. Spooky Face.
If he had half a second more, he would have landed and been able to consume a minion in that jungle, and he could have saved himself. It was so close. I could see his game plan with that one, just didn't pay off. You don't want to dive with Chaac all the time. He's an issue.
Spooky Face, though, are going for big play after big play, and it's crazy to watch, and it's working out all right in their favor. But they have to be careful. Like that Apollo player right there looked pretty risky. He almost got closed in on. Thanatos, fortunately, was right there to help him out. I mean, they have to be very careful if they're going to go this deep and that hard if they're not spot on with the rest of the team. If someone's slightly out of tune with what's going on, it's going to backfire big time for them.
Yeah, well, top element need to keep Agni alive and keep supporting him the way he is. He is the person on their team right now who's in full command of his lane. Across the way, though, Spooky Face needs to shut him down. I expect to see Thanatos trying to pick up this Agni earlier on. Hopefully, Baka will realize that too in the team fights, because that's going to be the big focal point for them right now, is the Agni. Everybody else on the side of top element isn't really a concern for me. 0-3 on Thor. Chaac's 3-1-2, but it's a Chaac, and Artemis is 1-3 as well, so I'm not worried about the other players right now. Just...
Powered by Cheese, Raging Bull forced back on the tower, low on health. Powered by Cheese, rotating over and just securing that kill for his team. It's Apollo. We touched on Apollo. Or rather, the Artemis has the advantage over in that dual lane over the Apollo, but with that golden experience lead on Apollo right now, Artemis is having a real rough time. A little skirmish going on mid lane. Thanatos is up, but it looks like it's just
Thanatos. He is just going to get away with that one. I didn't think he'd like the position he was in. This whole early game from Spooky Face, the reason Apollo's done so well against Artemis was that early pressure that Powered by Cheese put on in that duo lane. He got 5, ganked immediately, and that first kill to Artemis just put her behind. Nice bombs coming out from Agni in mid, but the Wisps are going to do their work and just heal them all back up once again.
That kind of, I don't know, I was going to say, it kind of shows the state of the game right now. Ziggy Dog is pretty far ahead. He's the highest level in the game right now. 3 members up against them, and they were not wanting to really commit to that fight. And it's just kind of going to show you he's near the tower. Sylvanus didn't even look for the Nature's Grasp right there. So it's like, I don't know, a little interesting to say the least. Look, like I said, health bars were low, Rainfire did just come down. Agni, though, with the items online, Warlock Sash almost fully stacked up. He is going to be doing a lot of AoE damage here in the near future whenever we see this next team fight come up.
Yeah, I mean, that's what his whole plan is going to be, is trying to poke people down. He can 100 to 0 someone with a full combo, but you don't always see that from an Agni. He's looking for sustained poke pressure for the most part. The only issue is there's Wisps on the other side, there's Consume Minion on the other side with Bakasura, there's also that Thanatos, which you can sustain if you can kill a couple of creeps too. So he's not going to be able to do as much poke pressure as he'd like to just because of the Sylvanus. He's going to have to rely on his teammates to make sure they do clean up crew for them. A little bit of counter healing, though, honestly, with the sickening strikes from Sobek, but will it be enough?
Yeah, it's true enough. It's one of those things with the healer. Do you need the anti-healing? It's one of those decisions you have to make fairly early on, because if you let it go too long, it's like, well, yeah, we do need anti-healing like 5 minutes ago, and by this point it's too late because they've gained a gold lead with that, and, well, we're now in a real bad place, and we can't get back
Artemis.
This isn't looking too good over there.
But from behind, Powered by Cheese, gonna turn up, throw out the silence. Ball's already been popped immediately. Half health for Powered by Cheese. There's the moves used by Apollo, looking for the autos, not gonna find them. This trade does not go well. Sylvanus is there with a blink, though. It's a nice Wrath of Terror. The dunk down from Thanatos at exactly the right time for his Thor.
Answering one back, coming in, looking to provide reinforcement, pulled back in the middle of the team. Sylvanus not in a happy place right now, fighting a little spread out. Space Ghost using the moves to try and run away from Zoff. Fast like Turtle, looks like he's in a spot of trouble. He'll have a verdant growth here in just a second, but it's not going to be up in time. Thor will get that kill. Back to the main body of the fight. Zoff finds one more kill over onto Space Ghost. This could be a gold for you here on the tail end of this fight. Going in favor of top element. Scylla is there, but she's low on health. She has the
okay with this.
Though.
But they're going to get a tier 2 tower on the right hand side here, Zyden. So what this is going to do, the Gold Fury and a tier 2 tower at equal experience, equals amounts of gold. So it's not too much of a trade-off considering the last Gold Fury went to Spooky Face. They're in a good position still. They just messed up a little bit with that engagement and gave away a little bit of experience in gold. They've gained some of it back though.
Yep, taking a look at the golden experience graph. You can kind of see there on the graph, it kind of bounced back and forth. The Gold Fury pickup, like you said, the tower worth the same amount. Overall, a slight gain going the way of top element, but Spooky Face still have themselves a strong 3,500 gold and about that same amount in experience. And looking over the items, right now, Agni working towards a Ratatouille or possibly even a Chronos Pendant. The Ratatouille, as far ahead as he is right now, would be a huge, huge spike in damage from him. I'd expect him to end up picking that one up, provided, things keep going the way they're going. Right now, he's sitting 4-0-4, highest kill score in the game right now, without any deaths.
I mean, with Sobek as well right now, he's got the opportunity to pick something up in his second active. He doesn't need a weakening curse here against the team he's against. I don't feel he's got sickening strikes already. Maybe looking for a shell would be really good to stop the burst damage coming out from this team. They've got to deal with Scylla's crushes. They've got to deal with Scylla's I'm a Monster. If he can have his shell online, which is a very underrated active that you don't get to see as often, just because so many people want blink or weakening curse in the current meta, it'd be so nice to see him pick that one up for himself as well.
For the most part, it's about when you factor in the flat reduction plus the additional protection, it usually ends up being about a 30-35% damage reduction for whoever's affected by it.
Thor's in trouble. Thor's in huge trouble. Regurgitate Uzi threw the hammer into a wall. Couldn't jump to it because the hammer, obviously, you can't jump into walls in this game. That would be kind of OP. So, a lot of damage, and he goes down and pays the ultimate price. His speed buff also went with him, and now Thanatos and the rest of Spooky Face hanging around this fire giant area. Apollo, though, split push left, got tier 2, and looking to pressure onto the Phoenix. Artemis really struggling here. Really struggling.
Yeah, she can't deal with him right now. With that Ichival online, she's stripping away some of that physical power from Artemis, and Apollo is the king of split pushing as far as AD carries is concerned. He has Sobek coming from behind, but even if he lands a pluck, all he has to do is pop the across the skies, or in case his moves, Tusky not locking on to find that stun.
Oh, maybe it will.
Back into a trap across the skies, not being used right now. He's trying to find a kill. He's going to get picked off though. Zoff with the lurking in the waters. did have... Where is
He did have his own. Zoff, honestly, Zoff has played this really well on this Sobek. He's hit a lot of charge praise. One or two mistakes, though, where he stayed too long with no mana, but his charge praise have been on point, and they've really helped his team out a lot in this one. They've relieved the pressure on the left-hand side, which means Spooky Face are trying to group up in mid, because there was 2 men in the left. Thor was there, but Thor's going up now. Is he going to find something?
It's going to be Scylla is ripe for the picking. He will find a stun. She's getting locked down. Berserk Barrage, a lot of damage. There's a Tectonic Rift, but the beads pop by Black Cyanide to ensure her escape. Fast like Turtle still in trouble. Dark Liberator looking to chase this one, find a kill. Wisp healing him up though. In the back, Blackout gets the fight turned around on him. Frodo finds the first kill of the fight for Spooky Face as he's looking to keep turn this one. Dark Liberator low on health in the back. Thanatos looking for a kill over there. It's going back and forth. Spooky Face turning that initiation back around, coming out with 2 kills onto Thanatos.
Yeah, they did pretty well in that engagement. Their Frodo of the Shire did really good work of just fighting. They're not disengaging from that one. What he did was split the team of top element that were chasing onto them. Artemis is trying to back here, going to get back. Apollo's in the sky, was looking to try and dunk down onto her before she got back. Not going to find it, though. So they're not going to get anything more than that. But that was a really nice play from Spooky Face. They got aggressed on. They turned the fight immediately and did the right things at the correct time and keep the golden experience lead.
Indeed. Right now, Gold Fury is still down for about another minute and a half or so. Fire Giant's available, but I think it's a little too early for that unless a really, really big team fight comes out. Looking at the current state of the game, though, Spooky Face do have themselves a small 4,000 gold lead or so right now. And there's some interesting items starting to come out. Heartward Amulet actually picked up on Chaac, Sovereignty on Sobek, Sovereignty on Sylvanus, Midgardian Mail completed on Sobek as well, though, with Bakasura, Thanatos, and Apollo relying fairly heavily on auto attacks, as well as Sylvanus to an extent. That Midgardian Mail is going to be a pretty nice pickup for them.
Yeah, Midgardian Mail will help out just to slow them down, especially with those auto attacks. The speed as well to keep them in range for damage. Nice work from Agni mid, though, but he does eat a chunk for his save. Thor's up, looking for the dunk down. Is he going to be able to find anything in mid lane? Got to look at the back. Looking for it, not going to find it. Is the wall available? No, it's not. He disengages with his hammer. Zoff picks up the kill onto the Apollo. Nice Wrath of Tether, but that's all there's going to be from that one. A one quick pickup. Here comes the teleport, though, from Baka.
Looking to re-engage this fight. They could just one round. It would be a 4v4 fight here in the mid lane right now. Thanatos kind of off in the jungle. Ziggy in the back, low in health. There's the Ricochet coming out. Blackout is so low in health on a Berserker Barrage, though. Ziggy with the help of it. I'm a Monster will miss. Thanatos finds the execute under the tower. Raging Bull answers one back. Kills all over the place right now. But top element come out. 1 kill for 3. And right now, are they going for the Fire Giant? Are they chasing that kill on Thanatos? Either way.
They could potentially go for the Fire Giant here. I think they were looking for one more pick at least. Raging Bull's going to come around on this Artemis, looking to cut off his option. Has a Medjai's online though, so not going to be able to get CC'd up that easily. They're not going to find him though. Maybe Sobek with a charge prey, but even then, Medjai's.
Indeed. Right now, it looks like they're going to look for these towers on the right-hand side as well. Start taking down some more objectives. Fire Giant with the Sylvanus there with the Wrath of the Gods as well. Thanatos with Wrath of the Gods. There's some pretty good steal potential there from those guys, as well. Thanatos coming in with Sylvanus at the same time with the Silence going out across potentially the entire team can make that steal opportunity a very real threat. They took the outer tower, put a little more gold in their pocket on the back of that team fight victory, and they've narrowed that gold lead down to only 1.5k or so right now, so it's a pretty big victory for them.
I'm honestly looking towards this Agni and this Bakasura. They're both on the top of the damage charts right now for their respective teams, and they're both doing great work. 6-4-1 for the Bakasura. 1 or 2 engagements, he's gone very, very aggressive, but he kind of has to, in all honesty, to make it worthwhile. That teleport into mid lane, for example, he wasted the teleport, he tried to make something happen, it ended up costing his team more than he should have just really backed out from that one. But Agni in mid lane, 5-0-5, level 22 levels above this Scylla right now. His itemization build here got full Warlock Sash online, Spear the Magus online, and that Rudder to who is on its way to completion as well. So soon he's going to be doing even more damage as well.
And yeah, it's going to start getting rather disgusting, to say the least. He has an active slot available still as well. Because see what he ends up building up on that. Right now, Gold Fury kind of being considered by both teams rather. Some counter warding going on. Fairly typical stuff at this point in the game. It's late enough in that a well-played team fight can mean big objectives, but
exactly.
the respawn times are getting pretty long right now. And
if we see another game where we go 3-1 in the terms of the kills, we'll probably see a Fire Giant, and this will be the turning point of the game. Yeah. Apollo steals away the purple buff from Artemis, but now he's caught a little bit out of position here.
The Sky's getting used, and he will just... Our Wisps, and not Wisp protecting, that's his own team. Barely manages to channel that in time. Another
It does
couple
get out, but
minutes.
that does set up a Gold Fury. That should set up a Gold Fury for them. I don't know why Top Element haven't started it already. Agni's here. They've got 4 members. Chaac has teleport if he needs to come in for this one. Only Sylvanus here to defend. They're going to pressure mid-tower instead of Spooky Face, but the Gold Fury is getting slowly lower. They're actually going to use Lake in the Waters here as well to try and burst this one all in one go, just in case Wrath of Terror comes out. Not a bad call, but a great call from Spooky Face coming out here, Zidane.
Giant's underway right now. It's already down to half health. Chaac is nearby, but he does not have Hand of the Gods available. This is going to be a free Fire Giant. They snuck this one in. Chaac is here to try and delay it, but they can just ignore him right now. They have the Wrath of the Gods secure from 25%. There it is. Spooky Face secure the Fire Giant. The fight is on, though. Space Ghost finds the first kill of this one. In the back, Fast Like Turtle finds a gets killed, rather. Zeke Dog finds a kill on the Black Cyanide. It's going back and forth. Top Element looking to strip these Fire Giant belts right off. There's a charge play. Prey pulling. Space goes back in. Raging Bull found powered by Cheese. And it's looking like, despite that Fire Giant, Raging Bull to triple and could find a Quadra right here. Frodo does come in. Can he clean up and answer some back right now?
I don't know if he can. He's going to try and do as much as he can with the Butcher Blades. He's trying to chunk down the Artemis, but he's going to go down on a rampage and a delayed Quadra kill going to Raging Bull. A deicide, a Gold Fury for a Fire Giant trade, and honestly, Chaac did so much work in that fight, Zidane. If it wasn't for him going in with that silence and doing the damage and getting the focus, it wouldn't have bought himself enough time for his team to rotate in like they did. And now they're the ones in the driving seat.
This is going to be at least another mid-tower as well. They don't have the Fire Giant belt, but one of the most important aspects of it is going to be the fact that it's simply off the map for now. Yes, that gold, the chunk gold on Spooky Face helped a lot, but the belt is not there. The belt is the real prize in the Fire Giant pickup. Pulled on the tower, Raging Bull going to take a few shots from the tower and be able to run her way back out safely. They have to be careful. Scylla's here as well. Damage coming down. Blackout's about to die. Tower picks up that kill. Preston's dropping down as well. They didn't quite find the tower they're looking for. They overstayed the welcome a little too long there. With the Sylvanus, with those pulls, the roots, and well, Scylla arriving as well.
We're back to even. We're back to even again, Zidane. Gold experience is even. Opposing the sky, though. Got to try and find Artemis. Not going to find it. Pop the sprint, trying to chase on for the kill. Zoff's there for zone control to make sure they can't come in. Chaac actually teleports in to make sure there's no more aggression. We are still uneven, but Agni's damage is going through the roof. That was one bomb plus a flame wave. Ouch.
Yeah, and the fact that can potentially hit multiple targets on a team fight, it's going to be quite frightening. Conquest, all the jungle, like all the little rats through the jungle, it's fairly confined spaces. Agni is going to be able to find a lot of damage onto multiple people in the middle of a fight. I'm curious what these guys are going to look to do. Gold Fury is down, Fire Giant is down. Personally, I love a bloodbath. I want to see these guys look to just fight each other non-stop. But for now, no real objectives up. Maybe some little jungle buffs. Like, unless Sylvanus finds a grab, Sobek finds a plug, I expect for the next probably about 2 minutes or so. Yeah, Farm Fest, not really much going on. They don't want to lose people for no real reward on the back of it. There's no fires on the takes. Like, oh, we get a tower. Yeah, it's a good pick.
There's two sides of this coin now, because one thing is Top Element allows so their Artemis to catch up in terms of build. That delayed Quadra really helped catch her up in terms of her build against the Spooky Face's Apollo, but now she'll be working towards that towards her Rage next, or Malice if she chose to go that sort of way in her build, and then she'll be at a full itemization build. Across the way though, this is buying Scylla time to hit level 20, which she just did, which means her I'm a Monster damage increases. On top of that, she's still working on Rudder Tahuti, so now those two are the ones to focus on. Artemis and Scylla are the big damage dealers in the late game. Don't forget Agni though, because he's been doing it all the way through, but he'll be working on Soul Reaver next more than likely.
That'll be a pretty scary little bit of extra chunk of damage too. I mean, it's I don't know. It will be scary, these big team fights. There's almost, we have 5 items across the board, almost 6 items going to be coming up for some of these gods. Jungle buffs respawning, being picked up by some of these gods as well. I don't know. Going into the later game now, we're pretty much there. A single pick could set up a chain reaction, but like we saw in that last Fire Giant fight, just because you make a big play and get a big objective doesn't necessarily mean that the game just turned in your favor.
I'm a little bit surprised by both the junglers not having an active yet. I mean, they've got Hog, obviously, but they've not got a Beads online for either of them. Aegis maybe for Thanatos for the baits. But I'm really surprised neither of them have invested into active at 30 minutes in the game. Bit of a skirmish going on in the mid lane here. Baka trying to do a little bit of work without regurgitate, but Thor is up, and he's going to dunk and miss. Going to continue chasing him. Where's Thana?
He's down in the middle of this fight once again, throwing those sides, trying to find some damage. Black Cyanide with a long-range armor monster, looking for a second one right now. Going to find a little bit of damage on the Dark Liberator, but they clean up right now, powered by Cheese. And Apollo, the only one left standing, he's looking for that Phoenix, but if he can't find it, this is going to be a pretty big blunder in the way of Spooky Face. He does get it.
Meanwhile,
he does get it. That's a big one to pluck. Thanatos will fall. Apollo going to go ahead and head back to base. It cost them 4 members. They got a kill in a Phoenix, though.
I take the Phoenix. I
Yeah.
take the Phoenix. The Phoenix is on the left-hand side of the map, so it's the furthest away from the fire giant. The only person that can defend that is going to be Chaac, so he has to use the teleport and get him, which means they have to get wall coverage near that fire giant for that next engagement. The Golfium is coming up soon. They're going to rush that one top element now before the rest of Spooky Face come online. But then the fire giant's going to be up, and we're going to see big contention there, Zayden. But at the moment, Spooky Face is still in control of this game, even though they just lost that fight.
I'm wondering myself, did top element have the fire giant timer? I kind of feel like with the respawn time Sylvanus, with that fire giant time as well, they could have. Oh, there's that respawn animation. I forgot about that a little bit, but
Next patch.
Yeah,
next patch. They could. You are right. They could have potentially done it though. They should have potentially gone for that fire giant right now. That would have been the better call here. They've gone for the safer option of the Golf Fury though. I don't think they'll use Hog here, which they won't, which is very smart from top element not to use that. So they've got it available. You're going to see Sylvanus rotate in there, drop a ward, see that it's down, realise it's just been done, and now the rest of Spooky Face. Sentry ward's online for Scylla, Sentry ward online for Thanatos coming back to this one as well. You'll see them ward this one up heavily, and we'll see a big engagement because someone's got to keep split pushing left.
I actually also like this little bit of a let's do the fire giant dance play by top element. They've been winning these team fights for the most part, even when Spooky Face have been engaging to begin with. They've been coming in, cleaning up. Their team fights right now look to be a little bit better. If they can find a fight at the fire giant, and they've been winning the fights anyway, so let's just fight them at the fire giant. Why risk trying to sneak it in quick, rush down, possibly have Sylvanus blink Wrath of the Gods and steal it away? We can just get like I said, safe option, get the Gold Fury, fight them, kill them, and then get the fire giant for free on the back of it.
What I'm expecting now is to see Apollos pushing mid lane, or maybe the right-hand lane as well. Left lane's going to auto-push, and the rest of Spooky Face can just dance around this fire giant. They can potentially get a tier 2 tower in mid for free if they want to, if they get the opportunity to, or continue pushing onto the Phoenix on the right-hand side. At the moment, though, it's one of these games, again, where it's very cagey. Everyone doesn't want to get picked out of position. Good flip coming out from Sobek, though. Bakasura in a little bit of trouble, not panicking too much, though. His Medjay comes up as well just now, so keep an eye on that. And Thor's the one that's gone back to defend. Interesting.
I kind of feel like he's the best option of the bunch. He doesn't have to run
Mid-lane.
as far back. Oh, Ziggy caught out. The Aegis used, trying to stay alive. Frodo will find that kill, though. The tower not going to be enough damage to answer one back. Dark Liberator finds Space Ghost. They did find it in the end. Can they continue to turn this one around? Losing your 80 carry for the mid lane. It's a lot of constant damage traded for a lot of AoE burst damage. I don't know. In the middle of that's going to definitely put a bit of
should have gone fire.
Yeah.
They should have gone right. Top element needed to go fire right then because they had 4 men alive. They'd lost the mid lane for an AD carry, but Thor's gone back to base. They had Bakasura back in base too, but Bakasura's come back in with that teleport in. The Regurgitate is doing work, but Raging Bull is doing the most work. That late game Artemis, Iron Monster does not connect, but the auto attacks do. Thanatos and this guy going to execute that Artemis now though. Silence is used, and that's all Thanatos has. Is a backwards and forwards on Thor, still on defense duty though.
Yeah, top element. Both these teams just going blow for blow for blow, and top element without Thor just came out 2 for 3 in that overall trade. Top element need to look to force these fire giant fights right now. They have the upper hand. They're winning these fights. They need to look to turn these into game-winning fights. The later they let this go on, the more and more opportunities they're going to have Spooky Face to turn this. They had to lead for most of the early game. They're behind right now. If top element don't start trying to rein this game in for themselves, Spooky Face is going to have more and more opportunities to turn this game back around. And top element should really be looking to stop that from happening. I mean, that particular fight, okay, that would have been a bit of a rough fight. Artemis was dead as a lot of their overtime damage. She would have been the one really doing most of the damage to the fire giant. But they need to look to start turning these the kills and fights they're winning into objectives.
Honestly, overall, it's going to be down, like I said, to Artemis versus this Scylla. And in that trade, Artemis was the one that won it. Scylla got cleaned up by Thanatos. Both teams realised they're the potential ones. But Apollo is doing some good work here with Thanatos. His Chaac gets caught out of position. Has to use his ultimate for defensiveness, but he's not going to be able to stop all attacks when in the silence. They can still use those. Chaac goes down. Immediately, Spooky Face going for this fire giant. Left-hand lane is secure for now. Here comes Zoff for securing. Thor's up in the air. The reset's happened. Is he going to jonk in?
Zoff is in the middle, so not getting out of the pull was there. Didn't find anything with the Amel Dawn. Tectonic Rift does come down, though. Bakasura forced to use a takedown to run away. Ziggy Dog raining down that fire, finding one. The second anvil, Thanatos execute coming out. Backside fight, Raging Bull getting very low on health. Thanatos looking to chase this in, finds it with the sweep.
Nice work, Cheese.
And he's looking for it. Zoff caught out as well. This could be a triple coming out by Cheese right now. Zoff can use the charge prey and try and run away. The damage, though, Thanatos is right on his heels. He's going to try and do what he can. There's the Tailwhip, trying to buy himself time as well as Blackout. This could potentially, if they can secure these last 2 kills, be the game.
Phoenixes. Is at least 2 Phoenixes, that's guaranteed right now, because the left one's about to fall naturally to this as well. Apollo, though, gets hit by a wall, and he's 2 tower shots, and double tap doesn't hit. Berserker Barrage! Not enough, the auto from Space Ghost is enough. The left tower's down, but Zoff
gets the kill.
He does get the kill. Tail Whip's OP.
Apollo was looking for the lifesteal off the minions. Unfortunately, scumbag fire minions left Apollo all of 1 minion to lifesteal off. If you got 1 attack of lifesteal, just not enough. If the minions had been there, though, he could have potentially turned that around big time to Blood Steel and found that kill on Zoff.
Apollo made a big mistake then, in all honesty. Space Ghost went for the game-winning plays, and what he's done is cost him getting a middle Phoenix here, as well as the left-hand Phoenix. His team's going to disengage and run away. The problem is, though, his top element are all respawning right now. They could go for a Fire Giant right here, especially if they pick the Sylvanus.
He's out of mana.
Baka just teleported too.
This is starting to look pretty ugly. Chaac. Oh, yeah. He's in the middle of enemy lines right now. He'll have that takedown to leap on out of this one. Guys, Sylvanus staying around. Sylvanus needs to go back to base now and get his mana pool back up. Yes, you want to try and save Bakasura and keep him alive, but he had that takedown over the wall. Fire Giant is going to be the deciding factor coming up. We're going to see a dance coming once again with that Phoenix just once again brought down. They're going to have to worry about those fire minions. Top element once again kind of on the back foot despite winning pretty much fight after fight, with the exception of that one little bit of a blunder there just a moment ago.
It's decision making from both teams. I mean, Spooky Face did the right thing in that whole engagement up until Apollo dived in. They baited him in at the Fire Giant, forced a fight after Chaac died, won the engagement, could have gone on to win the game, as you said, but then they made a mistake. Apollo's in the sky again, lucky to come into this fight. They're engaging hard on the right side now. What's Apollo going to do?
He comes down, does not find the damage off across the skies. Thanatos coming down, looking for damage, looking for next. He did not quite find it. Dark Liberator brought down. Frodo will find that kill. Zoff using that charge right, trying to run away. Spooky Face, though, health bars getting low. Thor on cleanup crew, about to come down from the Emerald Dawn. Raging Bull as well, finds the first one. They're up in the air, in the back, not going to find anything. The recall was successful. Thanatos and Bakasura made it back to base. This does leave Scylla and potentially Sylvanus in a bit of a bad spot. Are they going to look for the kills? They're going to look for this Fire Giant. That's going to be the question here.
They should go find out. They should go find out. Wrath of Terror is down. He's also not got a blink available, so there's nothing to CC up this Sobek from hitting the hog on this one. What can Scylla do? She's trading off with Ziggy Dog in the back, but the crush damage is too much. Agni, Path of Flames in, looking for the kill. I'm a monster, does dug down, but the Fire Giant goes. Oh my god, did he get it?
Top element got it. Zoff now in a bad spot, getting chased down. Charge Prey gets him away. It cost them the life of 2 members, but they took it off the table. Thanatos up in the air, looking to execute, does find Raging Bull. They have the Fire Giant, but immediately, once again, the team that got it is losing it across the board. They're going to be forced back to the Phoenix in the mid lane, and who's alive? I mean, fortunately, Space Ghost is currently down. They don't have that power for that range damage. The mid tower, though, with nobody there to defend it, is going to fall so quickly to Bakasura and Thanatos. They have the minions there. No backdoor protection. Second Phoenix down. Fire Giant, from what we've seen so far this game, has been more of a curse than a blessing.
It seems to be. They're both fighting around it. They're not winning the engagement so far. I mean, 2 members with the Fire Giant are Sobek and the Thor. They're not really the ones you'd prefer it on. You'd want it on the Agni. You'd want it more on this Artemis to survive and deal the damage. And now the jungle's been taken away where possible from Frodo of the Shire. The game is in Spooky Face's favour. It's 30-30 experience lead of only 2.5k. Gold lead, though. So 2.5k in favour of top element. But experience right now, everyone's level 20, so who cares about that? Yeah. But gold is only 2,000. It's still anyone's game. But there's 2 Phoenixes down.
At this point, well, that's an elixir or 2. Everyone's 6 items. Now, Thor and Sylvanus aren't. Well, it's supports. Well, there's supports. They don't get items. They're lucky to have as many as they do right now. Pretty much 6 items everywhere else right now, so it's a couple potions worth of gold. And, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting going forward. Bakasura are actually going for a late-game Transcendence. That's a little unusual, but it is a very, very big physical power item.
It's not something you generally see on him, but yet, like you said, in the late stages of the game, you get natural mana from just leveling up, so that factors into your Transcendence and how much damage you will deal with it, because it converts percentage of your mana into physical power. They're going to assault this right-hand Phoenix, though. They've not warded their jungle here, which I think is a really bad mistake, because Blackout is now in the sky, and where's he going to land?
Frodo in the middle of this one. Thor and Emerald didn't find it, but Frodo, though, caught out by the Tecton Rift takedown to run away. Lurking in the water is Sobek looking for this kill. Tail Whip as well, trying to find it, but it looks like Frodo did manage to sneak his way out of that one. They defended the Phoenix, but Fast Like Turtle will pay with his life for that little bit of an attempt on the right side Phoenix. Apollo found the left side Phoenix one more time.
Oh, good Aegis!
He got that kill.
He got the kill in the end. The Aegis was good, but it was just too little too late. The Phoenix goes down too. Apollo's still there. People trying to respawn, but Baka teleports back in. He needs to stop the recalls. If he does, Apollo could just end on his own. Apollo doesn't realise that. Baka doesn't realise that. Now Baka's going to get flipped into trouble again. Thanatos up in the sky, though. Where's he going to dunk down is the question. He's not at the moment. He's waiting
right
for
now.
it. They are doing... It's going to be
Hell.
game over. It's game over. The time's going to go down itself. Apollo's realised it. He's going in.
Yeah.
This is
That's
game.
Titan's about to fall. Apollo has to just keep auto-attacking. Even Blackout here, knocking him out of the fire. Fireman swinging away with Blackout falling. That's the game. The split push Apollo coming out in the end and securing victory for Spooky Face.
A messy game from both these teams.
Yeah.
They've both made multiple mistakes in it. And now, what the thing is, though, Spooky Face do advance. But now they've got to face off against Eager. And they've got to correct some of these issues very, very quickly going into this one. Like, Space Ghost can't go diving in like that. They could have ended this game 10 minutes ago, Zidane, and they didn't. So they've got to correct that because Eager will punish them for it in the next round.
That is for sure. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and cut to a quick little break, get ourselves set up and ready to go with that matchup, guys. Stick around, enjoy the music. We'll be back in just a few.